Well, it's a stupid question. Where is he? He's not going to be in his uniform if he's at a black tie. If he's on the field, I certainly don't want to see him in T-shirt and jeans. He's going to get hurt. So are you dressed to win where you are? And these are a couple different things that, again, but whatever can make it super simple for you. I have a little handout I'll give you at the end called How to Remember Names. Because I'm great at names, I'm great at faces, I'm just not good at them together. And what I might do is I might say, Mike, we had a great conversation about this and this and this, and I remember all this. Unfortunately, I can't remember your name, and I'm a person. It's not the best situation. I would prefer to, remember your name. Now, when you have a little bit of a unique name, you can actually give me your card earlier. And I encourage you to do that, and I encourage you to say the pronunciation of it. And you want to speak up. One of the things I'll touch base quickly, and then we're going to do a handshake break and a couple of things. Sure.
So you've had the one-on-one. How often is a legitimate time to follow up that person? Because sometimes you might have a really good conversation, kind of achieve what's in it for me.
Yeah.
How often would be good to follow up?
My analogy is it's like kind of how often do you want to do sit-ups if you want to stay in shape? So my feeling is you want to stay in touch with that person so your network is toned. And so I don't mean this to be self-promoting, but if you want to use me as an excuse, use me as an excuse to reach out to people who you have not been in touch with in a while and say, I went to this networking workshop and your name popped to mind as somebody who I haven't been in touch with for a while. You should really know about this cool program I'm in. I was teaching at the Boston University MBA program, and so one of the things that we had them do is we had them put yourself in the middle and you actually navigate your whole network. So who are the different networks that you might have? And one of them is going to be, this is GMA, is that the words? Yeah. It's like, I don't look at Good Morning America is the first thing I thought. So, you're going to want to write everybody's name who's in your GMA program. You're going to want to have your speakers. But also, who's the list of people who helped you get in here today? Who's that fan club you have? And have you stayed in touch with them? And so this is a moment where you can reach out to them. It's not saying, hey, it's a pretty day in Boston, I want to say hi. It's actually a useful moment where you can say, here's some information that has been, you've helped me be successful. So in general, when you follow up with somebody and you've asked for the 3 times and then you haven't heard back from them, what I do is what I call hybrid networking or tandem follow-up. I do phone and email. I do the 2. Email. And I tend to follow up 3 times, and then you've struck out. And I let it go. Now, if you haven't heard from somebody after 3 times of following up and they've said they're interested in sitting down with you, they have rejected you. They've been too chicken to verbalize it, or something's gone amiss. And let's say, Alicia or Luann is one of the people who've made that connection for you. What I would do at that point is I would go to Alicia or Luann and say, you know what, I've just let you know I did the 3-time follow-up. Is there something that you can give me some feedback about? Is there a reason I'm not hearing from them? Maybe they're on some assignment. Maybe there's a family situation. Or maybe your request wasn't clear enough. Or maybe the last 3 people who they helped, they didn't ever hear back from. And this is one of the things that happens, unfortunately, is you get the burnout factor from other people ahead of you who have not necessarily followed up in proper ways. So if you do this, then you do the 3 times. And then what I do is, if you've said, continue the dialogue. There was, in the New York Times, I think it was, about right after the story of Deep Throat, Mark Felt. When Mark Felt was identified as Deep Throat, there was an article in the New York Times, if they gave out Nobel Prizes for networking, Bob Woodward would win. Bob Woodward met Mark Felt on a bench outside the White House office, and they just got into a conversation. Woodward was just out of the military, thought this was a young, smart guy, a little bit senior to him, might be able to help him out through his career. So they would sit down for coffee every so often. Not just once, every so often they sat down for coffee. Then flash forward, Bob Woodward, Mark Felt has a story he wants to tell. He doesn't just pick up the Washington Post and say, who covers the White House? He calls somebody he's known and trusted for a long time. My personal definition of networking is building relationships before you need them. It's building relationships before you need them, is the first part of my definition of networking. The second part of my definition of networking, and which is also extremely important, is that it's the transference of trust. Networking is the transference of trust. So when Alicia said to Alicia, who said to Shelley, trust that Diane will do a good job this morning, or when Brian said, I want you to meet my wife, there's lots of trusts that are passed off there. And you want to be sure in every situation that you honor that trust. Yes?
So the question came up about, names and remembering names. Some people I know in grad school stuff have pictures of themselves in their email and their signature. Is that something that you recommend? So when I email somebody that met 20 people, it might help them.
I would say if Fidelity has a policy about that, first you always want to defer to your company. If your company has a policy about pictures or no pictures, do it. More and more I'm seeing pictures happen just because it's not like, are you cute, are you young, are you a guy, are you a girl? It's just like, who are you? When LinkedIn first started, there were no pictures. They finally went to pictures because, again, it was just like, who are you? And I think in their purest sense, I know the founder of LinkedIn, and I think in their purest sense of things, they didn't want it to be used for discrimination, male, female, race, or whatever else it might be. Then they kind of just said, you know what, it is who it is, and if there's a discrimination issue, it's not, we can't fix that by having pictures or no pictures. So I would simply say, ask if Fidelity has, a policy, follow that. 2, if you want to, you all should have a link. How many of you do not have a LinkedIn profile? Okay, you should definitely have a LinkedIn profile. 1, it's just a quick, easy way for you to have a kind of an online resume. And my LinkedIn profile, the other reason why is it's an easy way for people to find you. So mine is linkedin.com in Diane Darling. So I've edited it so it's my name. And not everybody knows that you can do that with LinkedIn. Yeah, it's great. My Facebook is facebook.com/Diane Darling. Now, on LinkedIn is where you see me today. I am in a business suit. Facebook is when you run into me at the Red Sox. I'm having a good time. I'm not drunk. I'm not telling inappropriate jokes. I'm not yelling at people. I'm still a person, but you see me in more of my casual situation than you do in my business situation. I encourage you to have profiles on both. You also want to know the privacy settings on both and how to manage that. On my LinkedIn network, and any of you are welcome to invite me ask me to join your LinkedIn. I do not offer that in most cases, so I will share that with you. But if you put in your request and say, Diane, I'd like to be a part of your professional network, period, in your name, I'm going to archive it. If you say, Diane, I'd like to be a part of your network, I saw you speak at the Fidelity program, I will accept it. You want to actually use something that's going to make it a connection. Now, my LinkedIn network is closed, and the reason why I close it is because I don't want people shopping in my network to meet all of you or to meet somebody else, and I unfortunately learned this the hard way. When I was carrying out a birthday cake for a friend 2 years ago, and it was his 50th birthday, and someone opens the door for me, and then he follows me saying, Diane, I saw on LinkedIn you knew these 3 people, and that's the folks who I really want to, interview with. And I'm like, dude, I'm carrying a birthday cake. Can you let it go? And, and it was somebody who I knew socially. Unfortunately, he wouldn't let it go, and it fractured the friendship. But, I think these are 2 of the most important ones. Part of it is there's going to be search engines will pick these 2 up. And you're going to want to have that. Now, with Facebook, there was a story about 2 weeks ago about the wife of the head of the MI5 in England who posted their vacation pictures on Facebook. This is like the equivalent of the CIA wife putting your pictures on. Here we are, shoot us now. Here we are, here's what my kids look like, kidnap us now. Not to mention the fact that you had an idea what this person looked like in their bathing suit. So, again, and there's a difference between privacy and secrecy and just being smart. I don't necessarily, need to know. Also on Facebook in particular, is a place for your birthday. You do not want to have your birthday online. If I have your birthday and I have your home number, I can get your address. $50 later, I'm into your bank account. So, these are just some, you don't walk into a cocktail party and give somebody your birthday. Why would you post it online? I have a fake birthday, and actually,